questions on the words that one uses are at the heart of what I hear many people asking about this war, including Jews, which is, how can they support Zionism if this is the current manifestation of Zionism?
Well, look, it's like, how can you support Islam if Ayatollah Khomeini is the progenitor of it? How can you support Christianity if the Crusades happened? How can you support America?
Yeah, the difference is, okay, people don't do that. No one is associating Saudi Arabia with the entirety of Islam. No one is associating Iran with the entirety of Islam. What the fuck do you mean? Your job is literally, by definition, associating Israel with the entirety of Judaism. So either you're making an argument that, like, they get to do stuff, so why can't we? Or I don't know what the argument would be, actually. That's just the only conclusion here is that you, as a person who does associate Israel with Judaism, because your entire job is to defend Israel by claiming that any critic of Israel is actually doing this because of deep anti-Semitic opinions, you're literally... you're just saying, like, they get to do it, why can't we? Christians did chattel slavery, why can't the Jews have a little bit of a genocide? Come on now. That's deeply anti-Semitic. You can't throw the baby out with the bathwater argument if your position is literally to tie Israel to Judaism, which is your position. So which one is it? Okay, this is a failure of whataboutism because you're the one who's tying Israel to Judaism. So either you just said your entire fucking position is fraudulent and you have been an anti-Semitic person this entire time by making this false conflation between Judaism and Zionism, by making this false conflation between Israel and all Jews, or you're just saying, why can't Jews have a little bit of genocide? Come on now. Like, let me have a little bit of that. Let me get a little piece of the action here.
America, if you disagree with President Trump's policies, or even in the face of larger scale disasters like slavery. Like, so again, Zionism is the right of a people to self-determination. You can be upset with the policies of a government. But again, if you didn't say in the wake of enslavement of Africans, America should be destroyed, if you didn't say in the wake of the Crusades, Christianity has no legitimacy.
Dog, the funny thing is, conservatives, and by the way, this is right-wing reactionary propaganda, for the record. I see this as no different than like a fucking neo-Nazi being like, why are you attacking white people? Why do you hate Christianity? What he's literally fucking arguing here is exactly the same shit. No, that's what people always say. People that want to bring back chattel slavery or reinstate the racial hierarchies and continue the racial domination of black people, people who are white supremacists do say that. And you are a supremacist of a different variety. You are an ethno-religious supremacist. You advocate for Jewish supremacy. You advocate for Jewish domination over the Palestinians. So you turn around and do the exact same argument. White supremacists say the exact same shit that Jonathan Greenblatt is saying. They just say it for Christian nationalism, white people broadly, white men. They have a different seasoning associated with it. And most people don't understand because, like, Jews in the Western world have historically been a marginalized population with pogroms and also the Holocaust, that a lot of Americans who want to be progressive cannot comprehend that, like, in Israel over there, Jews are the dominant in-group. They are the white people of Israel, the quote-unquote white people of Israel. They don't have to look white. I just mean white as a socio-political construct of who has the power, who is the in-group. You say Jews control the media in America, you're anti-Semitic. You say Jews control the media in Israel, you're just reflecting on the reality. Okay? Do you understand? I mean, this is a humorous way to describe it, but that's the major difference. You put a fucking Star of David on the side of a fucking apartment complex to mark that a Jewish person is living there in the Western world. That might mean you're about to do a hate crime, an anti-Semitic hate crime. But in Israel, settlers mark Palestinian houses with the Star of David And that is an indication of a hate crime of a different sort that is about to take place. They are going to light that house up. They are going to push those Palestinians out of that home. They are going to engage in a pogrom. That's the difference between the power dynamic. And of course, I would take it one step further and even say that in the Western world, the only reason why this is the one specific group that has some kind of like real systemic power in quote unquote canceling people and deplatforming people is because of its ties to American foreign policy. Because anti-Semitism is used successfully, or at least was used successfully, as a mechanism of deflection and a shield for Israel. That is the only reason. That is the only reason, because Americans don't give a fuck about any of this shit. They don't. They broadly do not care. If you're always wondering, like, why is it that this is the one marginalized group in the United States of America that people seemingly do care about, okay, or that institutions do actually move in the direction of, and will go through a tedious list of dog whistles to figure out whether or not someone is being anti-Semitic, and then like end up deplatforming them or whatever. At least they did. That is the reason, because it is used as a primary vehicle to defend Israel. It's a primary vehicle to stop conversations from taking place about Israel in the United States of America. Part of the process is that, and this is something that I also talk about quite frequently, but like there is no comparison between the systematic discrimination that still exists against Muslims in this country, that still exists against black people in this country, that still exists broadly against brown people in this country, versus systemic discrimination against Jews in this country. Jews can still very much be victim to anti-Semitic hate crimes. But as far as like some sort of systemic disenfranchisement, it does not happen. That it used to, but in contemporary American society, that does not happen. Okay? This doesn't mean that anti-Semitism is not a hateful bigotry. It is. But disenfranchisement of Jews broadly by the systems is like disenfranchisement of Slavs broadly by the systems. It happened in the past. It doesn't happen any longer. Of course, the systematic disenfranchisement of Jews was far more consequential given that the Holocaust happened. But once again, remember, it's just, it's not the same as different forms of bigotry, and the defense mechanism that exists only exists because it is used as a weapon to defend Israel in American discourse. American citizens are getting rounded up based on color of their skin and what language they're talking as we speak for deportation. Exactly.
If you don't say in the wake of the oppression of women for centuries, Islam has no right, then why would you feel differently about this? Again,
I'm only trying to
the
carry.
Jewish state.
I'm trying to.
Yeah, why do you care so much about the Jewish state? Why do you care so much about the Jewish state? It's a terrible argument.